Welcome into the iconic Redwood Bowl on the campus of Cal Poly Humboldt for this afternoon's matchup between Diablo Valley College and College of the Redwoods Corsairs. My name is Mitchell Manji, alongside my broadcast partner, as always, Liam Warner. A sunny afternoon here in Arcata, California, as we get set for this afternoon's matchup. Diablo Valley comes in at 2-0 with two close victories on the season so far. Redwoods is 0-2, dropping two games that were also close games, Liam. And so as we take a look at the two teams ahead of today's matchup, Redwoods has been close, but not all the way there since moving up to the National Division, looking to change that with a win at home today.
Yeah, it's clear that defensively this team is very good. In my interview with Coach White, we did the baseball analogy like we did last week, right? We need to find some run support for your defense. You need to find some offense because your defense is playing very well. Offense has just struggled, especially going into the red zone. And you're playing against a Diablo Valley team today that is very high scoring. Especially in their last game. They beat American River 44-30. Their first game was a little bit different, only 10-3 over Fresno City. But this DVC team has a lot of talent, and it's going to be hard for this Redwoods team to outscore them just because their offense has struggled coming into this game. But anything could happen.
Offensively for Redwoods, just 16 points on the year. And Liam, the stat that we were talking about pregame that jumped off, 2 of 4 in the red zone. So not only did it feel, like that was a low number in terms of conversions, which it is, but that they've only been into the red zone 4 times in those first two games. I mean, you looked at that and you just said, you're like, this number seems like it should be higher.
It should be. Yeah, I mean that. Coach White also talked about this in the interview. Redwoods needs to be better in the red zone. They've shown an ability to move it up and down the field, right? But they just have not converted in the red zone. And I think against this Diablo Valley team, you're going to need to score touchdowns. Field goals is not going to do it. There's just too much talent on the offensive side of the ball for DVC.
Well, and at the quarterback position for Redwoods, it's been Quentin Buckland, and the points haven't come for the offense, and it's always going to fall the blame will on the quarterback. But again, you've got a guy back there who's got the talent and he's got the arm strength, he's got the wheels, and it's just putting it all together and getting a feel for it, really gelling as an offense, which we allude to year after year at the community college level, that the high turnover rate is you have to be able to come together quickly as a unit or else you're going to struggle. And that's been the calling card for Redwood's defense, as Coach Wheeler and company have been able to put together standout defensive units year after year. They look like they have another one this year, and it's really, Liam, the defense that's keeping them in the game.
Yeah, it's all three levels. I mean, the defensive line is getting it done up front. The linebackers under Coach Haraldson are doing a great job. And of course, that secondary, which Coach Wheeler specializes in, has been really solid as well. I mean, things kind of got away from the defense a little bit last week, but it was just a matter of Foothill kind of grinding them down. Of course, we had that bizarre. Uh, ask Coach White about this too. You'll hear later. That bizarre field goal sequence where the field goal was retaken several times. Foothill was moved out of field goal range. They went to punt, and then on that punt, there was a personal foul on Redwoods that gave them a first down. Then I believe they scored right after that, and that just kind of took the air out of it. So that's another thing that Coach White talked about as well. I mean, we can't be having penalties, where you're shooting yourselves in the foot, especially dead ball fouls. Coach White said this in the interview. You will excuse, holding, pass interference, things like that, trying to make a play. What he wants to see is this team cut down on the dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, personal fouls that this team has control over.
Well, and that's something it's been lower this year than it has in years past, but still a valid point. And for the defense, one more thing, talking about the front seven, right? You've got two talented ends in Luke Saraceno and Eli Freehoff, who've done a good job putting pressure on the quarterback. Kyler Smith crashing it in the middle, going back to that three down, or bringing in rather for the first time this season, that three down front approach. The linebackers between Caleb Morgan, who had several standout plays a week ago, Caden Wilkinson, Christian Solomona, Levi Walker, a position that, as you mentioned, is very deep and talented. And so that group, the linebacker core, pressure from the outside, if they can put pressure on the quarterback for Kalami McLeod for the Vikings, then I think that'll have a recipe for success today. So coming up shortly, we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. And then on the other side, Liam's exclusive interview with Redwoods head coach Jason White. Again, for those of you watching on the live stream, make sure you pop on over to KATA1340.com, and it's not going to air on the Redwoods YouTube live stream. For those of you with your radio dials locked into ESPN 107.3, enjoy these messages before Liam's interview with Coach White coming up next, right here on Humboldt's ESPN 107.3 FM.
Good afternoon and welcome to the beautiful campus of Cal Poly Hubble. And for today's NCSC football matchup between the Diablo Valley Vikings and your College of the Redwoods Corsairs. As the captains meet at midfield to determine the point flip and who will be kicking off. I'd like to first off mention that today is a very special day for us as we will be honoring the 50th anniversary of the
Redwood from the class and I'd like to see the third.
Of the state champion. And officials any positive and profanity, discriminatory conduct.
Thank you for joining us on this fine September afternoon at the Redwood Bowl. College of the Redwoods, Diablo Valley College getting set to kick off alongside Liam Warner. I am Mitchell Manji here, going to take you the rest of the way on ESPN 107.3. A huge shout out to Coach Jason White for always taking the time before the game to come and record an interview with Liam Warner. And Liam, an excellent job as always on the interview. Great informative stuff from Coach White.
Thank you. It's always a blast to interview Coach. He's always got great stuff to say.
Never lacks candor, that's for sure.
No.
As Redwoods has won the toss, they've elected to defer their option to the second half and will kick it away. It'll be the strong leg of Brandon Saylor, booting it deep for Redwoods. Elijah Bowe deep to receive, along with Journey McCoy. McCoy, the 5'10 sophomore De La Salle product. It's about 20 minutes away in the East Bay area. Diablo Valley College from San Ramon. Redwoods from South Eureka as we are underway. With the kick from Saylor's going to be handled by McCoy at the 5, and he will return it. McCoy cutting back to the middle, looking for a lane. Tackled and finally brought down across the 25 out to the 29-yard line. That's where we will see Coach Wheeler's Redwoods defense on the field first. And Liam, it's been the defense that's been able to keep them in football games, as we mentioned on the pregame show. But stopping this high-powered offense for Diablo Valley is going to be a challenge that they're about to undertake right now.
Yeah, this is a high-powered offense, and this defense is going to have to show up again.
Quarterback for the Vikings is number 12.
Just shy of 1,000 total yards through 2 games this season, 527, including 362 through the air a week ago. Empty backfield for the quarterback, McLeod. 3 receivers left as McLeod drops back to pass. Pressure coming, steps up, evades it. Flag comes in as the pass is completed across the 40 and then ultimately dragged backwards. Forward progress will be an 11-yard reception should the play stand, but that flag was thrown back in the area of holding.
Victory. Yeah. The flag on the side.
Holding. Offense number 70.
Holding is the call. That'll march the Vikings back 10 yards, 14:46 to go, just underway. First quarter, first possession belongs to the Diablo Valley College Vikings here from the Redwood Bowl. 3 receivers split left to back in the backfield. And it's going to be a handoff. Fumble, the ball's on the ground, juggled around and recovered by Redwoods at the DVC 22-yard line. Huge takeaway for this defense.
There's a flag on the field.
So we'll wait to see the flag. It came in late, Liam. I think the fumble might just stand.
I would hope so, Mitchell.
They're getting a new football from Redwood's sideline as they wait for the white hat. Back-to-back holding calls against DVC. You know that one's going to be declined. Quinton Buckland and Redwood's offense with wonderful starting field position, heading out the 22-yard line of opposition territory.
That's huge, Mitchell, because one of the things that Coach White mentioned in his interview was the poor starting field position on just about every possession last week. So great starting field position here, obviously.
So here is Quinton Buckland, the 6'2 redshirt freshman, Elmira, Oregon. Olenberger, the back behind him in a pistol formation, 2 tight ends. Snap, and it's a handoff to Olenberger, the left side. Falls forward. It's going to be a gain of 5 on the first down rush.
5 yards.
Redwoods, a week ago, 25 rushes for just 40 yards, 1.6 yards per carry, and they did put the ball on the ground once. Have not averaged, in the first game, it was just 2.6 yards per carry on 40 rushes. It's a Redwoods team that's used to following a big offensive line and having them pave the way. It's been challenging the first 2 games this season. Good start with 5 on the ground. Buckland dropping back to pass, looking left side, Duron Dodd not there. Rolling out to his right, pass is completed. Inside the 10, tackled out of bounds. That's number 84, Isaac Johnson, setting up the Corsairs with first down and goal. Ball at the right hash, 8-yard line.
First and goal.
Well, this is a dream start for Redwoods, but as we've detailed before, the red zone scoring has been a struggle. Let's see if they can put it at the end zone here.
So they've got Herman Mitchell in as a fullback, or running back, lining up at tight end. Keep an eye on that on the right side. Buckland got 2 receivers split left. Olenberger the back to his right. Hard count, nothing moves. Makes a check at the line. Snap, handoff, Olenberger trying to get room over the left side, fighting forward and falling down to the 4. So 2 good first-yard rushes by Hank Olenberger. Sets up second down and goal. Dodd exits along with Mitchell. Redwood's going heavy set. Buckland getting under center. 3 backs behind him. Play action. Pressure coming on the backside. He feels it, gets rid of it. And a smart play by Buckland. He felt Jeff Holden, the defensive back, blitzing off his left side. Was able to roll out, and right as Holden was trying to drag him to the ground, on the way down, throwing it out the back of the end zone was Buckland. A smart play brings up third down and goal from the 4. 12:29 to go, first quarter. Redwoods got the football on a fumble on the opening drive from the Vikings of Diablo Valley College. 2 receivers split right, 1 left, Olenberger the back. They bring a man in motion and give it to him on the speed sweep. Saul Reyes over the left side. Is he in? No, just marked down a yard short. It'll bring up 4th and goal.
Moves it all the way down to the 1 yard line.
Here come some big bodies in for Redwoods. They're going to keep the offense on the field. Ball is spotted on the left hash inside of the 1 yard line. 3 backs behind Buckland as he goes under center. 4th and goal. Buckland's going to keep it. The push from behind, and he's in. Touchdown, Corsairs. And there's the official signal as the referees took a while coming off the sideline to make the call. It looked pretty apparent from up here. And CR puts 6 on the board here in the first quarter.
Well, Mitchell, it's been too long since we've heard your touchdown call. Beautiful start by Redwoods here.
Over a game, just 3 points on the board. And Liam, I believe, first time they put points on the board in the first quarter. Snap is down. PAT is up and good. 11:53 to go. Redwoods draw first blood. They lead it 7-0 right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. College of the Redwoods strikes first. They lead it 7-0 right here. Humboldt's ESPN 107.3 FM, KATA 1340 AM, and streaming live on the Redwoods YouTube live stream. 11:53 to go, and Liam, Redwoods got the early lead, something we have not seen to this point this season. As the kick is away from Saylor, it's a good one, and will go out the back of the end zone. And DVC will start at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's a dream start. It's something that Coach White has wanted this entire season. I mean, obviously the opening game against Sac City started about as poorly as it could possibly start with that fumble on the opening kickoff, and then last week obviously was a slow start. So this is great to see.
So finally get it back to home after what ended up being a tough road trip, driving down the night before and then spending the day before a 6 p.m. kickoff. Now this Diablo Valley College team, they drove up to Humboldt this morning, so they have to get off the bus, literally and metaphorically, so to speak. It's going to be a handoff running on the left side. Tackle is made. First man there. Big number 90, Kyler Smith on the inside. No gain on the rush. So it looks like they're going to give him maybe a half a yard, but still a big stop, brings up 2nd down and 9. It was a holding call to open things for DVC on their first possession, then they fumbled. The gun now, McLeod dropping back to pass, behind and snagged by his running back, Ferrari Miller. Give him a handful of yards before being tackled out of bounds, brings up 3rd down and 5. 11:13 to go, first quarter. 7-0, Redwoods on top as DVC faces their first 3rd down of the game. Hard count doesn't pan out. The entire offense looks to the sideline for the check. 3 receivers right. McLeod drops back to pass, looking right, throws quickly, pass completed for a 1st down, tackle made. Not allowing much more after. But chains move for the Vikings on the pitch and catch to Miles Dixon. Tempo now for the Vikings. Trips bunch left. Redwoods walking up, the linebacker showing some pressure. And they're bringing 4. Throw quick to the right side. Caught and before being forced out of bounds, Kai Taylor.
Kai Taylor on that stuff for the Vikings. Just out of bounds. Not before we call it 8 on the play.
Gain of 8 on the completion to the outside. 2nd down and 2. DVC back on the ball. Redwoods have walked up some pressure on the outside. We'll see if they bring it. They do. Quick throw to the right side across the 50. Again to Dixon. Pass is completed to move the sticks. Sticking with the tempo offense. 3 receivers left. McLeod back on the ball. Into Redwoods territory now at the 48. He's going to hand it off and stopped at midfield. A host of Redwoods, including Christian Solomona, getting in to make the tackle. No gain on the first down carry. A good sight to see back out on the field for CR. Solomona just such an athlete out there, especially at the middle linebacker position. Working his way back from a knee injury, was used cautiously in game 1, given the green light in game 2, and here he is making a big play on first down for a loss. In the third game, 2nd down and 11. Behind the sticks, tosses a bubble screen out to the left side, breaking a tackle before only able to pick up a couple more. Miles Dixon again. As McLeod has gone to Dixon on 3 straight plays. Sticking with the tempo, but DVC doing some substitutions. And we'll see if a little gamesmanship happens from Redwoods and they start subbing defensively to draw it out later if they need to slow that tempo down. Empty formation, McLeod, 3 receivers right, ball in the left hash. McLeod takes the snap, dropping back, looks right, looks middle, throws underneath. Completed, but tackled after a gain of just 5. So you're giving away the short stuff, but protecting against the deep pass. As Redwood's playing a little bit of the contain game. Garrett Esimonu, the receiver on the reception. Brings up 4th down and 6, so playing the sticks there on 3rd. And DVC going to lead the offense out on the field. Empty formation. 3 receivers left to the field side. Hard count, got a Redwoods player to jump, but I don't think he was over the line of scrimmage. Pass to the right side is caught. Inside the 30 at the 25, a back shoulder catch. Very impressive. And the flag did come out on the close side of the field. That was Esimonu again. And we've got an ineligible man downfield. So, correct, even though the Redwoods defensive line flinched, they were not offsides. So 4th and 6 will become 4th and 11, and we'll see if DVC elects to stay with their offense. They're making some substitutions. Quarterback's still out there. It'll be 4th down and 11. Ball spotted at the Redwoods 49. Offense staying out there for DVC with 8 minutes to go, first quarter. Another empty formation, 3 receivers left. Solomona, the middle linebacker, walks up to the line. Now switches over the other guard. Hard count, no movement. Now check into the sideline, and play clock about to expire. DVC will take their first timeout. We'll take one with them. Back in 30 seconds right here, ESPN 107.3 FM. So 4th and 11, DVC will punt. With 7.5 to go, Redwood's going to let the punt go, and it's going to be down to inside the 5 at the 1. And that was one of the question marks was on the special teams, especially on punt return a week ago, Liam, as there was several fair catches made inside the 10, including one at the 3, and then one that probably should have been fair caught around the 40 that was not. So that one ends up going, and just a tough decision to make. It was a knuckler coming in at about the 12. You don't want to risk a fumble, so opting to let that ball go ends up putting Redwoods pinned up against their own goal line as the offense back out on the field with a 7-0 lead. Offense got the ball at the opponent's 22 on their first drive. This time, they're starting at their own 2. Under center, Buckland, handoff on the right side. And not much running room there, falling forward maybe a yard. And I believe it was Alec Grant on the carry. Or excuse me, Olenberger now. So 2nd down and 8. He gets credit for 2.
Grant picks up a couple on the play. He's 2nd and 8 Redwood.
Again, Buckland going to be under center. I formation. Buckland making checks at the line. Snap and a handoff running over the left side and stood up at the 5. Believe that one was Olenberger. Grant had the first down carry. As it's a 3-back backfield. Going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Guarding out the 8. It's going to be a 3rd and long 6 for Redwood. He's just outside that 5-yard line.
You've got a couple things to keep in mind here. You don't want to punt from the back of your own end zone. So you caution against trying to air it out, but on the flip side, you want to be aggressive and not just play it safe. Buckland in the gun, running back to his right, 2 receivers split wide. Buckland the snap, pressure coming, picked up on the outside. Buckland able to step up. He's got a man deep down the right side, just over the head of Isaac Johnson. He was wide open at the 40, and Buckland just a little bit too much mustard on that one. So we got a flag back at the 5-yard line as White Hat conferring with the side judge. 5:54 to go, first quarter. So we're going to wait the call of the penalty, and Redwood's offense still out on the field.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 8. Penalty is declined. Call for the play. 4th down.
So our second ineligible man downfield. This one goes against CR. And they will indeed, Liam, have to punt from their own end zone. And mind you, they're missing their their starting long snapper in Cody Hayes. CJ Patro did a fine job handling the duties a week ago. Jake Calcagno out deep to receive, as this punt is going to be taking a bounce and lit up, and the ball's on the ground again. Redwoods has it at their own 45. A split decision to try and pick up that punt is not the right one for DVC. They turn the ball over for the 2nd time. By putting it on the turf, Redwoods has capitalized on both opportunities, and a huge swing, 40 yards in field position, and they get to keep the offense out on the field.
Huge. Obviously, they capitalized on that first turnover. Just, a little bit of an indecision by the punt returner there. Cost them.
CJ Patro got in on that play. We had just talked about him, the long snapper. Getting congratulations down on the sideline as Quentin Buckland and company head back out. All spotted at their own 45, a much more favorable position than being pinned up inside your own 5. We'll shift the formation, move 2 tight ends to the left side. And a keeper for Buckland as he's brought down by his shoulder pad after a gain of just 3. 2nd and 7 upcoming.
Number 61, Jaquan Dickey, for a short game.
So Liam, not only is Redwoods took an advantage of the one turnover and now with the second opportunity here, but they've been able to keep their defense on the sideline in this first quarter.
Yeah, that's huge.
Get them some additional rest as Buckland's got 3 receivers wide left the field side. Hard count, makes a check at the line. 4 down linemen for DVC. It's going to be handoff left. Olenberger trying to get around the corner. Flag flies in as Olenberger is going to be tackled. No gain on the play. And I believe that was the left tackle, Ezra Bailey, who's going to get tagged for a hold. That's what allowed Olenberger initially to get to the outside. There was no hiding that holding.
Offense number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So it does go against Bailey. 10-yard penalty will make it second down and 18. Redwoods keeps the down.
37-yard line.
Back CR up to their own 37. They've got a 7-0 lead here. 4:45 to go, first quarter. Line to gains the DVC 45. Grant, the running back to the left of Buckland. Hugh dropping back to pass, has a good pocket. Now he's going to roll out left. Eyes downfield, throws underneath, pass completed. Good for 7. We'll get him close to the original line of scrimmage.
Buckland completes the pass. Brings the ball back close to the original line of scrimmage. Call it 3rd and 11, thought I looked.
So again, ball spotted at their own 44. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Again, alongside Liam Warner, Mitchell Manji here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Empty formation. Buckland takes the snap. 3 rushers, throws right side, high, and it's intercepted. Picked off, going the other way. Journey McCoy down the left side, 1 man to beat. And the quarterback, Buckland, makes the tackle, but not before McCoy gets all the way down to the Redwoods 10. And turnovers, the story of this first quarter. 3.5 minutes to go as our third change of possession on a turnover, this time an interception by Buckland. Chains are down. It'll be 1st and goal, left hash, 10-yard line for the Vikings. They've got 3 receivers right. McLeod brings a man in motion. Sends him back, handoff. Ferrari on the right side, and he's brought down. Ferrari Miller's tackled after gain of a couple. Brings up 2nd down and goal. And just going back to the interception, that's a tough throw. 3rd and long, trying to throw the corner route on the outside. And that's the 2nd errant throw to the wide side of the field by Buckland. The first one resulted in an incomplete pass as he had Johnson streaking down the sideline. That one ends up going the other way. And now 2nd and goal for the Vikings. Shift a man in motion across the formation. Play action, rolling out to his left. McLeod throws toward the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Jake Calcagno snags it. And DVC is 1 extra point away from tying this one at 7. Double Valley averaging 27 points per game, gets into the end zone for the first time. They run a man on for the PAT. Adrian Guzman to attempt the point after try. Kick is away, and it's good. So we are tied at 7, 2:42 to go in the first quarter. CR looking to avenge that last interception. Coming up next right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Diablo Valley answers on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Kalani McLeod to Jake Calcagno. We're tied at 7 after CR, the beneficiaries of a pair of Vikings fumbles in this first quarter. Turned the first one into 7, and the other one ended up as an interception that led to the first score for DVC. 2:42 to go first quarter as Guzman gets set to kick it away.
Isaac Johnson and Dominic Trump back for Redwoods to receive the kickoff from Guzman.
Dodd and Johnson deep to receive. Kick is away, and it's fairly short. Going to be caught at the 15. Looking for a lane across the 35. And tackles made at the 36-yard line.
Solid return on the play.
So that'll set Redwoods up with a better than average starting field position from what they've had this year. Seems too many times they found themselves inside their own 25, inside their own 20. One drive already starting at their own 2 so far this afternoon. Buckland looking to bounce back after a pick 1 drive ago. Takes the snap in the pistol. It's going to be a handoff jump cut behind the line of scrimmage, and falling forward for just a yard or 2 is Grant.
Alec Grant ran a carry. Duck his way into a couple on the play. Brings that second and 8.
Second down and 8. Clock winds to near 2 minutes, first quarter. Shifting the tight end. Dascom across the formation. High snap handled. Running to his right is Grant across the 40. And picks up 4 on the ground over the right side.
Grant again on the carry.
3rd and 4.
Picked up 4 on the play. Bring up 3rd and 4 for Redwoods.
Right side of the line, anchored by right tackle Ethan Bunton. It's going to be the side that Coach White elects to run behind, especially in short yardage situations. 3rd and 4. Buckland, the snap, pressure coming, looking, stepping up. Buckland trying to escape and does, and trucks the defender before going down at the 48-yard line. Put a shoulder pad into Delonte Henry, the defensive back, and just bounced off of him. Fell forward for a couple more. Chains move. A huge 3rd down conversion for this Redwoods offense. Third downs. Just 8 for 26 coming into the game as the handoff goes to Grant. Pushes the pile forward across the 50, falling into the opposing 49-yard line, gain of 3. Clock at 30 seconds here in the first quarter. We've got an injury on the field as Jairo Ioane, the right guard, is down. We'll take a 30-second break right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Ioane able to exit under his own power, but definitely favoring that right leg as he walks off. So clock winds now with 24 seconds inside the play clock. Redwoods will have to snap this football one more time in the first quarter. Buckland takes a snap. 6 rushers coming, gets rid of the ball quickly and short on the out route, looking for Duran Dodd on the left side. 3rd down and 7 with 11 seconds to go first quarter. And you wonder, Liam, if on that out route to the far side of the field, 2 overthrows, one was an interception, and another one an incomplete pass on what was a wide open Isaac Johnson on the right side. You wonder if that's got to be in Buckland's head. He doesn't want to airmail that throw and just ended up coming up a little short.
Well, yeah, it comes down to just general inexperience so far. I think more time under center, it's definitely going to get better in those situations.
3 receivers left, 3rd down and 7. Buckland dropping back to pass. Clean pocket, steps up, pass completed across midfield down at the 35-yard line. Anthony Justice, the wide receiver, making the catch, and that will wind us down to the end of the first quarter. Your score, Redwoods 7, Diablo Valley 7. Redwoods driving at the DVC 35 as we start the second quarter on the other side of this 30-second timeout here on ESPN 107.3 FM. So just getting ready to start the second quarter. Alongside Liam Warner, Mitchell Monge here at the iconic Redwood Bowl, campus of Cal Poly Humboldt, as the Redwood Coast Volleyball Classic goes on just across the parking lot over at Lumberjack Arena. It's been going on all day, starting at 9 a.m. yesterday, and games went until about 10:30 last night. Started again at 9 a.m. this morning. So busy day here in Arcata, California, as 1st down and 10 from the DVC 35-yard line for Redwoods. Buckland making some checks at the line. He's got 2 receivers left. And hands it off to Pierce on the right side. Grant. As Alec Grant's 1st down carry, depending on the spot, good for about 5 or 6 yards. Give him 5 officially. Brings up a 2nd down and manageable. CR Football brought to you in part by North Fork Lumber and Game On. Thank you to our generous sponsors for keeping Redwoods football on the air. As Buckland takes a snap, drops back, throws over the left side, pass completed before being driven out of bounds right at the sticks, close to the 25-yard line. Saul Reyes made the reception for Redwoods, and the chains do indeed move. Liam, this offense to this afternoon so far is showing signs of life that we have not seen through the first 2 games.
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing. I also like what Buckland is doing. Good response after that tough interception. Made some really good throws here on this drive.
Grant the back to the right of Buckland. Ball on the left hash. High snap, and Buckland grabs it. Just going to run with it to the right. A stiff arm away from a defender. Buckland, before he's brought down, making a couple flashy plays, but it only ends up netting them 2 yards, but averting disaster.
Well, again, Quentin Buckland showing a lot of poise there. A lot of quarterbacks would panic in that situation, but the high snap, it just took it and ran, and could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely, as Buckland using all of his 6'2" frame, just putting his hand up almost like a defensive back, tipping it to himself before wisely, not even looking for what was on the play, just tucking and running on the right side, and then had a big stiff arm in the backfield to turn this into no gain. Get back to the line of scrimmage. Buckland takes the snap on 2nd and 10. Pressure coming, trying to set up the screen. Not there. Buckland just throws it away into the turf as DVC had that screen sniffed out from the get-go. I believe we might. Do we have a flag down on the far side? There's the They're gonna call grounding against Buckland. He was rolling out, and the screen, your closest receiver is going to be the running back. So he just tried to throw it in the dirt, but you got to get it a little closer to his feet. If grounding is indeed the call.
No grounding. Offense number 4. Ball be caught at the spot of the foul. This foul also requires a loss of down. 3rd down.
And so intentional grounding is the call. That's a big one. Not only do you get what's going to pan out to be a 10-yard penalty as it's a spot foul, but a loss of down. Going to bring up 3rd down and 20. Back at the 35-yard line. 13-10 to go, second quarter. Redwoods and DVC tied at 7 apiece. As 2 extra receivers head on to the field. So you got a couple of options. You're on the edge of field goal range. You could try and get something underneath to set up Saylor. Or you could try for a manageable 4th down. It's tough. Empty set. Quentin Buckland stepping up in the pocket, throws over the middle, caught by Reyes inside the 5-yard line, a diving catch. And how about that? 3rd down and 20. Redwoods not only converts, but they convert to get a 1st and goal.
Oh, man, I love what Q is doing on this drive. He's made some great throws downfield, and I think that's one of his best throws downfield we've seen this season.
Just hits Saul Reyes on the seam route right down the left hash. 1st down and goal from the DVC 3. Heavy formation. Buckland goes under center. 12 men on the field defensively as they hand it off over the right side. Looking for the call. Again, a delayed signal. It appeared as if they got in, and he did. Redwoods, another 6 on the board. So we'll wait for the flag that came down in the end zone.
Players on the field. Defense.
So 12 players on the field is the call. Results of the play is a touchdown, Liam.
Huge.
So 12:34 to go. Redwoods puts their 2nd touchdown on the board. They lead it 13-7 with Saylor on to attempt the point after try. Kick from Saylor is up and good. 14-7. Redwoods on top, 12:34 to go in the second quarter. The offense looking increasingly positive today right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. So 14-7, Redwoods on top here early in the second quarter. As almost their best offensive output to date that is their best offensive output to date. 14 points the most this offense has put up, and what a good time as the kick from Saylor is going to be handled at the 5 far side of the field, coming from the shade into the sun, looking for a lane, and not much there, going left to right instead of up and down, and tackled at the 15-yard line, Journey McCoy. So officially they'll mark him down at the 18-yard line as DVC will send Kalani McLeod back in. Now trailing by 7. All spotted at his own 18. Here's the run support you were asking for, Liam.
Exactly.
Pistol formation for McLeod. Miller, the back, directly behind him. They bring a man in motion and send him back. As it's going to be a handoff to Miller over the left side. Miller found a little bit of a crease and falls forward for 7 yards.
Miller. He'll get the first line.
We got some whistles.
Number 10 for Diablo Valley is out in the one play.
A player loses helmet for DVC.
Picks up about 8 of the play.
So gain of,
1, 2,
call it 7 or 8 on that first down carry. Vikings opt to go empty. 3 receivers right. McLeod brings a man in motion. They're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. As falling forward for a first down, that'll actually be a forward pass to Martis Ferguson. And the completion will move the chains for DVC. First time we've seen that tempo offense since earlier in the first quarter. Pistol formation, snap, looking, bubble screen left. Completed with a few blockers, but tackle made after a gain of 5. They sent Miles Dixon in motion, and he was heavily used. 3 straight targets to open the game. And the first time he touches the ball again comes here at 11:19 to go in the second quarter. Vikings back on the ball. McLeod looking left, still looking, comes back across the middle. It's Dixon, caught it and dropped it. But they're going to say an incomplete pass. It hit him right in the chest. Tackle was made on the play. Looked like Michael Brownlee made that stop, but tough to see the number exactly. Snap, handoff on 3rd and medium, and tackle is made close to the sticks. Looks like a generous spot from the official on the far side, but a first down nonetheless. Chains will move. DVC out to the 43. Staying with no huddle, 3 receivers right. Miller remains in the backfield. Screen underneath, pass is completed to Ferguson again. Ferguson breaks free on the left side and he's gone. 10-5, touchdown Vikings. As the screen pass underneath, dump off to Martis Ferguson, and he took it the rest of the way. 57 yards to the house. 10:27 to go, second quarter, 14-13 PAT upcoming. As Adrian Guzman on to try to tack one more on. Good snap, good hold, kick is up. Right down the middle. So just like that, 57 yards to the house. DVC enters back. We're knotted up at 14 right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Don't. Redwood set to receive as they send back Aaron Clifton deep to return. I believe that's Dominic Conant. Yes, it is. The other returner. Kick is a squib. It's going to be handled by Dascom, the tight end, at his own 25. Dascom will return it back out across the 35 down to the 36. So again, favorable field position for CR as they send the offense back out onto the field. And Liam, as we recap, an early touchdown capitalized off the fumble, and then it was really the big play that set up an Alec Grant 3-yard score on the previous drive.
Yeah, I really like what the offense has been doing, of course. And then, I mean, that's the biggest play that the defense has given up, I believe. That long screen pass for the touchdown for DVC. But it's a 14-14 game. It's been a really good ball game so far.
A big play that I was mentioning, Saul Reyes on 3rd down and 20. Big completion, got him inside the 5. So now 1st down and 10. Ball at Redwood's own 36. Buckland takes the snap, hands off to Ohlenberger, looking for a lane, but he's met by a wall of white jerseys. Maybe one, if that, on the rush. Second down and 9. Clock winds under 10 minutes here in this second quarter. Again, we'd like to thank Game On as well as North Fork Lumber for sponsoring College of the Redwoods football and keeping us broadcasting on the airways. ESPN 107.3 FM, as well as KATA1340.com. Snap, play action. Buckland back to pass, stepping up, throws down the left side. Too strong, looking for the recently converted tight end, Cortez Fields. Started the year as a wide receiver and just made the shift to tight end recently. Now that Redwoods is going to be without Cody Hayes for the foreseeable future. So 3rd down and 9 coming off the incompletion. Three receivers right. Deron Dodd, the man lone out to the left. DVC rushes 4, clean pocket. Q steps up, throws over the middle, tip, nearly intercepted, and it is. A couple deflections later, the second pick of the day for Buckland. Returning down the left side, did he stay in bounds? No. But another turnover by the offense, Santino Avesedo, the linebacker out of Cardinal Newman, with the interception that was nearly picked off by the safety, but deflected right into Acevedo's hands. And he sets this DVC offense up with great starting field position at the Redwoods 25-yard line. We've had quite the momentum shifts, Liam, here early in this first half.
Yeah, pretty much the exact opposite of the first half last week in Foothill. Like nothing happened in the first half in Foothill, and everything's happened here today.
McLeod heels at his own 35, or excuse me, at the Redwoods 30. CR shows pressure, they bring it. It's picked up well. Pass completed at the 20 and hurtling his way out of bounds. It's Khalid Robinson, the wide receiver. Moves the Vikings down to the Redwoods 13-yard line. Quick snap. A toss running to the left side. They went back to Robinson. Picked up 4 on the, I guess, reception technically, because it's like a speed sweep, but they're pitching it to him, so it's going to count as a forward pass. Help McLeod's passing yards a little bit. 2nd down and 6 from the 9. McLeod's got 3 receivers split wide right. Defense needs to get a stop. McLeod dropping back, throws the fade left side, back shoulder, one-handed. Did he catch it? Yes. Michael Brownlee, the corner on the play, had excellent coverage trying to face guard the receiver. Just went up and caught it with one hand. 14, and here is the PAT. High snap, getting it down. Kick is up and good. 8:23 to go, second quarter. Tables have turned. DVC's on top, 21-14. Redwoods need to hold on to the football when they get the ball back here on ESPN 107.3 FM. So after the answer by Diablo Valley, they lead it 21-14. As we knew, Liam, that this was going to be a program who could put up points in a hurry. We saw a week ago what they did offensively for over 500 yards of total offense. They're averaging over 300 yards a game. There's another squib kick aimed at Dascom. He's going to be handled by Conant back at the 10. Conant looking for a lane. He's dropped across the 20. Ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line, and Quentin Buckland, it's probably the most adversity he's faced early on in his career as a starter for Redwoods. 2 interceptions in the first half.
Redwoods first attempt in their own 24.
Got to stay true to what got you to this point. As Buckland heads back out there as Redwoods drew first blood. It's been a back and forth matchup so far, with DVC currently holding the 7-point edge. 8:17 to go, second quarter. Ball officially spotted at the 24-yard line. We have 2 receivers split left, 2 right, as the official is trying to get, I believe, the microphone figured out for the white hat referee. And we're ready for action as Alec Grant, the back to the right of Buckland. Bring a man in motion across the formation. Buckland keeps it on the read. He's driven backwards hard to the ground after picking up 3 on the carry. Brings up 2nd and 7. Seen the Foothill game, and then here today, a few more designed quarterback rushes. Or even Reed's trying to get Buckland on the move and using his legs. Again, he's one of the best athletes on the offensive side of the ball. Trips formation, tight left. Pistol for Buckland. DVC brings 5 and running right into the blitz on the handoff. No gain, maybe even a loss. And Coach White not happy, ripped his headset off, yelling onto the field at his players as no gain on the rush brings up 3rd down and 7. Line to gain is going to be the 34-yard line as Alex Meadows heads onto the field. Romel Luster checking in as well. Empty formation. 3 receivers left to the field side. DVC brings 4. They run a stunt and just about get home. Buckland steps up and incomplete, too high across the middle for Meadows. But you see the arm strength as Buckland throwing off platform. That one a little high and outside for Meadows coming across the middle of the field, but definitely had some zip on it and a nice tight spiral, but got to get that down just a smidge. Keep it inside of Meadows' catch radius. So punt team onto the field, 6:42 to go in the first half. DVC already has a 7-point lead in getting the football back. Cole Newton on to punt. A little bit of pressure and a wobbler of a punt. and out of bounds. That ball didn't even make it back to midfield. So Diablo Valley has shown the capability to make the explosive play. He's going to take over on offense. In very favorable starting field position. It'll be at the Redwoods 41-yard line. I don't even know if that was net 20 yards on the punt. So we've got a second quarterback, Jaden Macedo, in. Macedo has 8 rushes on the year. Has thrown a different look at this Redwoods defense. Macedo is going to throw a quick screen out right, completed to number 42, Jurian Dickey. Dickey trying to cut it back and does on the quick screen. DVC picks up 18, and they're quickly putting the pressure on this Redwoods defense. Trying to get back on the ball and set in a hurry. Macedo in the pistols, got 3 receivers split right. Takes the screen, they're going to throw a little bubble out, completed to Dixon. Dixon trying to cut the ball upfield. Picks up 4. Bring up 2nd and 6. Again, hurrying to back on the ball as we thought there was a possibility we'd see a second quarterback today, but potentially not this early. So we approach 5.5 to go first half. Trips bunch left. Macedo on the read, gives it up the middle to Ferrari Miller, who's brought down at the line. No gain on the play. 3rd down upcoming. So ball be spotted at the right hash. 3rd down and 6. Clock continues to wind. Vikings holding on to a 7-point lead. Macedo sends the back off to his right side. That's Miller. Takes the snap, dropping back. Macedo looking right for Miller out of the backfield. One-handed catch, walks into the end zone. Touchdown DVC. That was a nice snag too, Liam.
Yeah.
Just goes.
Good play made.
Yeah, flat route into the vertical out of the backfield. Macedo had a little bit of zip, put it right in front of Miller. Extended his right hand. Grabbed the end of the football and walked in. PAT to push it to 14. Kick is up and good. 28-14. DVC on top. Redwood's going to try and cut down the deficit before the half. Coming up on ESPN 107.3 FM. So what had been the best start for Redwood so far this season has quickly flipped the opposite direction. They're staring down a 14-point deficit with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Dominic Conant, deep to receive. Diablo Valley College having their way offensively here this first half. They've already hung 28 points on the board as they're going to do a squib kick right at Dascom again. Fields it at the 25, cuts back and ran into his own man at the 30 and goes down hard. As one of the DVC players on kickoff just shoved the Redwoods player into Dascom to essentially make the tackle. It'll be first down and 10. Redwoods at their own 30-yard line, 4:57 to go, trailing 28-14. Coming into the game, Diablo Valley College averaging 27 points per game. They've surpassed that in the first half. Two receivers left, two right for Buckland. There's a handoff to Olenberger. Olenberger's got a cutback lane. First down and a few more. Out across the 40. Chains move. It's a good first down rush for Redwoods, as that's been the department that's lacking. It's been the run game that's always anchored this offense. It allows your pass game to play off of that, a little bit of play action, quick hitters. But without the run game, you're relying heavily on the right arm of Quentin Buckland as he takes the snap. Looking to pass, steps up in the pocket, completed across the middle of the field. That's first down on back-to-back plays. Chains move again. Isaac Johnson, the reception, coming across midfield and down into Vikings territory at the 42.
Redwoods first down, Viking side of the field, 47-yard line.
2 plays later, plus territory for Redwoods. So they've got 3 receivers right. Dodd, the lone man, left. Dropping back, looking left, looking right. Buckland stepping up and escaping out to his right. Evades a defender, takes a big hit, stays on his feet before he keeps getting driven backwards. As by staying on his feet after taking that first hit, DVC's defense got another 2 clean licks on the Redwoods quarterback. So they're going to give him 7 on the scramble. Second down and short, second and manageable. 3:20 to go, first half. DVC has 2 timeouts left. We got the 2-minute timeout, but you know Redwoods does not want to give this football back to DVC, especially with that white-hot offense. Three receivers left. Buckland takes the snap. The give is to Olenberger over the right side. And Hank falls forward enough for first down, I believe. They're going to stop play and, yes, move the chain. So clock winds under 2:50 to go. So first down and 10 from the Vikings 31. Any points feel almost necessary at this point, but a touchdown would go a long way. Jairo Ioane back in at right guard after he went down with injury earlier in the first half. Good to see him back out. Snap to Buckland. Quick throw to the right. And there's got to be a flag coming in. There it is. Thank you. I was waiting as Anias Walker, the defensive back, just had Johnson completely tied up. And as that throw was made, he still had a hand on his chest. That came in from the official way behind the play in the defensive backfield. He's going to be the one who makes the call or passes the message to the referee to make the call.
Pass interference. Defense. That ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, resulting in an automatic first down.
So it'll only be a gain of about 4 yards as Walker jammed Johnson on the slant. But it stays with a fresh set of downs. Ball spotted right hash, the DVC 29. Meadows and Dodd, the 2 receivers left, 2 tight ends. Olenberger the back. Olenberger gets it on the left side. Not much running room. But Redwoods continues to push the pile forward, legs churning. And they got an extra 2 to 3 yards by refusing to give up after Olenberger initially had hit a wall. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, Liam, and Redwoods is driving, trailing by 14. Going to try and milk it the rest of the way. They'd like to put one in the end zone. Final 2 minutes of the first half coming up next on ESPN 107.3 FM. Coming out of the 2-minute timeout, 2nd down and 4. Reyes and Dodd, the two receivers left. Ohlenberger, the back, to Buckland's right. Q takes the snap, looking left, throwing down the field, looking end zone for Dodd. Caught, but out the back of the end zone and incomplete. It would have been a questionable. He had the catch, and I lost the ball going to the ground. So even if he was able to get a foot down, probably unlikely to be a touchdown. But I like the play call there on 2nd down and 4. You've still got 3rd and manageable even with an incomplete pass, so go for the end zone. Why not? Minute 54, 3 timeouts left for Redwoods, 2 for DVC. Scoreboard shows 3, but I believe they took one first quarter. $1:54 to go, 2nd quarter. Buckland dropping back. Blitz coming off the left side. Pass completed to Ohlenberger. And out of bounds with enough for the 1st down. Had to become a bit of a contortionist as the ball was thrown behind him. Flipped his body 180 degrees, did Ohlenberger, to make the reception before keeping his footing and going out of play on the left side. But chains move. 1st down and 10. Ball spotted now at the 15. Dodd and Meadows, the receivers right. Buckland in the pistol with Grant behind him. Hands it off to Grant, trying to run over the right side. Gets shoved forward by his right guard, Yawani. Good for a gain of 5. Clock continues to wind with the Corsairs keeping the football on the ground. 2nd and 5 from the 10. Grant remains in the back to Buckland's left. Bring a man in motion across the formation. It's going to be a give to Grant running right. And Grant falls forward on the tackle. Maybe 2.5, 3 yards as we have a timeout coming in ahead of this 3rd down and short taken by DVC. And so it is the first timeout, as, again, had the timeouts wrong. We'll take another 30-second break. Back shortly here on ESPN 107.3 FM. A minute 5 left on the game clock as we approach the conclusion of the first half. Diablo Valley leading College of the Redwoods 28-14, but CR is driving and has 3rd down and 3 with the ball spotted at the 7. You got to imagine trailing by 14, and with the quickness that DVC has been able to put points on the board, they would go for it here on 4th down. As Buckland takes the snap. Quinton looking left, pass is caught inside the 5. Reyes continuing to churn, trying to fight forward, but ultimately going to be brought down short of the goal line. But a first down inside the 5. Clock's going to wind towards 50 seconds. 2 timeouts left for DVC. Do not want to give them much, if any, time left on the clock, if you can help it. Strong eye, handoff, right side, and the play is blown dead as we have a flag coming in from the referee on the far side.
Prior to the snap, offside, offense number 58 was lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down. Hey.
Said offense number 58 lined up in the neutral zone.
It's not something you see called a whole lot.
That'd be the right tackle, Ethan Bunton. But Coach White is heading over to talk to the referees. And Redwoods will burn their first timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff. We'll take one with them back in 30 seconds, ESPN 107.3 FM. So Redwoods, 35 seconds to go. Trying to put the ball in the end zone. They had it at the 2, but Ethan Bunton was lined up offsides, going to push him back to the 7. 35 seconds to go. Trailing by 14. It's DVC 28, Redwoods 14. Cigar's largest lead has been 7, 2 separate times. But DVC has showed quick strike ability. Buckland in the gun, dropping back, throws out to the right side. Pass is completed inside the 5, extending before being tackled out of bounds at the 2. So they get the 5 yards back on the penalty. 7 seconds run off the clock, but it'll stop with 28 before the half. Also, the fact that it was a penalty, the Corsairs kept the first down, so that brings up 2nd and 7 now. Or excuse me, 2nd and goal from the 2, the original line of scrimmage. Heavy formation, Buckland goes under center, 3 backs behind him. Snap, handoff, right side. Alec Grant. Is he in? Redwoods lineman signaling touchdown. No call from the referees yet. Clock stops with 20 seconds. That was 2nd down. They're going to say he was short. And a timeout burned by Coach White. So 2nd timeout called. It'll be 3rd down and goal from inside the 1. And Coach White will have a timeout in his back pocket as we'll go ahead and keep this one here, Liam. But you still have that timeout on 3rd down. You basically have 2 plays to get, about 6 inches based on where they're spotting you.
Yeah. Alec Grant's done a great job in the backfield. Of course, Quentin Buckland, he's had a couple of picks, but I really like the way he's throwing the ball down the field. At least he's taking chances. At least he's trying to get the ball down the field. I think that's a really encouraging sight. I think, interceptions are just going to come, due to his inexperience. So kind of take the good with the bad there. But this DVC offense is obviously very good, and that's what Redwoods is going to have to contend with in the second half.
Even like you said, Liam, but not just the interceptions, but the ability to remain poised and bounce back. So Buckland will go under center here. You got 2 downs to get 6 inches. 3rd and goal with a timeout, and flags fly, no play. Imagine we'd have pre-snap movement, which is more likely than not, and yes, it is going to go against the offense. Ohlenberger moved before the snap, and even though it was a non-play, we've got a Redwoods player. It looks like Ioane again down on the turf. As with the injury on the field, we'll take a timeout. Back shortly here on ESPN 107.3 FM. So Ioane's going to walk off under his own power again. Very gingerly, though, at that. So 20 seconds. It'll now be 3rd down and goal from the 5. And it's still essentially 2 plays to now get in what was 6 inches, now 2 plays to get 5 yards in 6 inches. So 20 seconds remaining in the first half, 28-14. Diablo Valley College leads College of the Redwoods here at the Redwood Bowl. CR trying to score before the half. Buckland in the shotgun. Dropping back, looking to his left, stepping up. Buckland eyes in the end zone, throws to the back of the end zone, caught. Touchdown, Corsairs! Touchdown hauled in by Anthony Justice. And CR trims the deficit before the half. So Saylor on to cut the lead to 7 on the PAT attempt. Snap, good hold. Kick is a line drive, but right down Broadway. With 13 seconds to go in the first half, 21 now for the Redwoods offense as they trail by just 7. And 2 timeouts in the back pocket for DVC. Liam, they have showed the quick strike ability. Would not be surprised to see Coach White squib it to force a return. The last thing you want is a fair catch opportunity for the Vikings. You want to try to burn as much clock as you can on the kickoff and force potentially just 1 play if you can help it. And if you're DVC, you're probably happy with a 7-point lead. You want to see if you can do anything on the kickoff return. If you set yourself up, maybe you try 1 play, just given that they've shown that ability, that the athletes, playmakers that are on this roster, because you continue to impress, and they have quite a bit of speed across the receiving core as well. They've thrown some bubble screens, tunnel screens, anything to try and get the ball to those guys in space. So again, I could see them going both ways, either playing aggressively or taking it to the half and saying, hey, we're up 7, and that's pretty good. And if I'm a coach, a player on Diablo Valley, I'm content with 28 points against this Redwoods defense, especially in the first half, and I expect a much tougher challenge for the final 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that was a big score by Redwoods because keep in mind, they get the ball to start the third quarter.
Excellent point as Saylor. There it is, a low line drive kick, and it's going to be handled at the 12. Clock winding under 10, a little bit of a lane. Tackle made out at the 38-yard line with 6 seconds remaining. So the timeouts don't really do anything for you at this point. 6 seconds to go, 7-point lead. And we'll see. Wouldn't put it past DVC to pull out a little bit of trickery or double pass, or they could just take a knee and go in. We'll see here. Looks as if they're going to be lining up in an empty formation. Will be 3 receivers left, 1 right, as Ferrari Miller, the back, joins McLeod in the backfield. 6 seconds to go, likely final play of the first half. There's the quick screen out to the left side, getting it to Dickey with room to run. Clock has hit 0, and Dickey elects to take it out of bounds, but again, they're just trying to get it to playmakers in space. Ultimately, Redwood's able to keep DVC off the board. And the score remains as we head to the half. Diablo Valley 28, College of the Redwoods 21. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. On the other side, Liam Warner with your halftime show right here on ESPN 107.3 FM.
Welcome back to the beautiful Redwood Bowl here on the campus of Cal Poly Humboldt in Arcata. Your score here at halftime, Diablo Valley College 28, College of the Redwoods 21. Let's take you through how we got to this point. Much more eventful first half than the first half last week at Foothill. We started it off with a DVC fumble that was recovered by CR at the DVC 22. CR would then take it right into the end zone on a Quentin Buckland rush right up the middle, making it 7-0 in favor of Redwoods. A couple of turnovers, a turnover by DVC on a muffed punt recovered by CR, and then DVC would get an interception later on, and then would get a passing touchdown, strike right into the end zone, tying it up, making it 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Alec Grant with a rushing touchdown, giving Redwoods the lead, 14-7. And then Diablo Valley College with a 57-yard screen pass, go all the way to the end zone, tying it up 14-14. DVC would get another interception, and then another passing touchdown, making it 21-14 in favor of the Vikings. Then later in the second quarter, another passing touchdown from DVC, making it 28-14. And then Redwoods would get one back, making it a one-score game. Passing touchdown to Anthony Justice from Quentin Buckland, making it 28-21 in favor of DVC as we hit halftime. We're going to take another 2-minute break, and then after that, replay of my interview with head coach Jason White. Of course, if you are watching on the YouTube stream, go over to kata1340.com to hear that interview. And then after you hear the interview, we'll have scores from around the 3C2A and around the country. Back in 2 minutes with my interview with Coach White. You're listening to Redwoods Football, ESPN 107.3 FM. Welcome back to the Redwood Bowl. It is halftime here on the campus of Cal Poly Humboldt. Your score, Diablo Valley College 28, College of the Redwoods 21. Taking through some scores from around the 3C2A. Scores from around Northern California. College of the Siskiyous beat Cabrillo by a score of 30-11. De Anza beating Feather River by a score of 35-29. 1 o'clock kickoff, Coalinga San Joaquin Delta. No reported score there. Butte beating San Francisco by a score of 34-14. San Mateo beating Modesto by a score of 41-21. No reported final score between Monterey Peninsula and Santa Rosa. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. Merced and Chabot, no reported score there. Same with Gavilan and Contra Costa. Los Bananos Hartnell, no score. And then we do have some night games kicking off later. American River at Fresno City at 5 o'clock. We have Foothill hosting Reedley at 6. And then looking for some more NorCal scores, San Jose will host Sequoias at 6. Shasta will host Laney at 6 as well. And that is it for the Northern California scores. Let's take you through around the country. Top 25 scores. We have a good game in Knoxville, Tennessee, 41-38. Number 15, Tennessee, leading number 6, Georgia, in overtime. Georgia does have the ball in the overtime period. Mitchell Mongi is not going to like this score very much. Texas Tech leading his Oregon State Beavers by a score 28-0. 1:43 left in the second quarter. Also in overtime, the backyard brawl. West Virginia leading Pittsburgh by a score of 31-24. Texas leading UTEP by a score of 27-10. Miami, number 5 Miami leading number 18 South Florida 28-6. That game, 1:55 left to go in the second quarter. We have, let's see here, going through some other top 25s. Ohio State leading Ohio by a score of 3-0. End of the first quarter. Number 9 Illinois leading Western Michigan 3-0. That game nearing the end of the first as well. Number 17 Ole Miss leading Arkansas by a score of 7-0 nearing the end of the first quarter. And then we have some games just about to kick off. 4:30 starts. Number 3 LSU hosting Florida. Also 4:30, number 8 Notre Dame hosting number 16 Texas A&M. Number 11 South Carolina hosting Vanderbilt at 4:45. At 5, number 20 Utah going on the road in Laramie to face Wyoming. And then some final scores from around the country. Iowa State, number 14 Iowa State beating Arkansas State by a score of 24-16. And Mitchell Mongi showing me the tablet. Looks like Georgia has just beaten Tennessee 44-41. So great game there. Number 2 Penn State 52-6 over Villanova. Number 4 Oregon beating Northwestern by a score of 34-14 on the road. The big upset today, Georgia Tech beating Clemson at home by a score of 24-21. Number 13 Oklahoma beating Temple 42-3. Number 19 Alabama beating Wisconsin 38-14. Number 23 Michigan beating Central Michigan 63-3. Number 24 Auburn beating South Alabama 31-15. And number 25 Missouri beating Louisiana 52-10. And then the last top 25 score from yesterday route in Indiana is number 22 Indiana beats Indiana State by a score of 73-0. We're going to take a 1-minute 30-second timeout, and then Mitchell Mongi will have your second half call. You're listening to Redwoods Football 28-21 DVC at the half, ESPN 107.3 FM.
Just getting set for the second half action. Final seconds wind off the clock here at the half. A big thank you to Liam Warner, as always, for carrying us through the half. Your score, Diablo Valley College 28, College of the Redwoods 21, as Redwoods will get the second half kickoff. They put a touchdown in the end zone with 13 seconds to go in the second quarter. Allowed them to close this gap to a touchdown and get the football back. As they ran the screenplay to Jurian Dickey, and Liam, we talked a little bit off air about him before the game. Jurian Dickey, a former 5-star receiver who signed with Oregon, was recused from the program and finds himself here playing for Diablo Valley College and picked up a good chunk of yards to pad his stat line at the end. As it's another line drive kick to start the third quarter, handled at the 30. Return makes it out to about the 37-yard line. Aaron Clifton picked that one up. He went a little more east to west than north and south, maybe 7 yards on the return. So the 14:56, Quinton Buckland. And the Redwoods offense getting ready to head back out. So it'll be Buckland with Olenberger the back. Jairo Ioane is back in. He's been down 2 separate times due to injury, but toughing it out. Tight trips bunch right. Buckland in the pistol. Snap and a handoff to Olenberger. A little bit of room on the right side. Picks up 3. Second and 7.
Pushes forward for about 3.5 yards on the first down. Out past the 40.
So the style of offense that Coach White wants to run is he wants to have a ground and pound, a smash mouth type of football. We run the ball first and are able to create some throwing lanes off the defense, bringing 7-8 guys into the box. So far, Diablo Valley's been able to keep 6 in the box and keep the rushing attack at bay. Redwoods 2.6 carries game 1, 1.6 yards per carry game 2 as Buckland facing pressure, steps up, escapes the pocket. Scrambling now, dodges a defender and gets forced out of bounds near the first down marker at the 48. See if they give him credit for a first down. He was awfully close before being forced out. They might say that this is 3rd down and inches, and that will be the call. So, well spotted, nose of the football is on the right hash, right at the 48-yard line. Ball spotted very close to the sticks, maybe just mere inches short. Buckland will go under center, 3 backs behind him. Takes the snap, quarterback sneak, and gets enough out to the 50. So 3 yards on the keeper for Buckland. Redwood's able to move the chains. The name of the game for them is not only going to be holding on to the football as 2 interceptions in the first half for Buckland, but also just keeping the chains moving, being in control of the game offensively, possession-wise. So plus territory early here with 13.5 to go, third quarter. Those of you watching on the live stream, let us know how and where you're listening from on X, formerly known as Twitter, at MitchMonji55. As first snap is a handoff. Olenberger runs a man over 5 yards and a powerful finish at the end of the run. Tough running from the back from Lakeport, California. 5 hard yards. Second down and manageable. That's the strength of this team. If they can get 4 to 5 yards on first down, the playbook is wide open. Hard count for Buckland, no movement. Checks to the sideline. Takes the snap. Handoff, Olenberger with pulling guards, and he's going to be stood up behind the line to gain. Keeps churning to try and get back to the original line of scrimmage, and officially will be a loss of 1 on the play as we've got another injured Redwoods player down on the field.
Player on ice for Redwoods.
I'll be spotted at the left hash 45-yard line. 3rd down and 6. That's the right tackle, Ethan Bunton, and because play stopped, he's going to have to come out for a play. He tried to rejoin the huddle, but Alexis Martinez will fill in for this 3rd down play. Third down and 6 from the DVC 45. Line to gains the 39. Under 12 to go, 3rd quarter, and Buckland with 3 on the play clock is going to have to burn a timeout. Coach White meeting him out near the numbers. Timeout on the field. We'll take one with them back in 30 seconds on ESPN 107.3 FM. Third down and 6 coming out of the timeout, and with the timeout allows Ethan Bunton to re-enter at right tackle. 4 receivers, 3 right, 1 left. Buckland making a check at the line, moving Olenberger to the left side. His heels at the 50-yard line. Takes the snap, looks right, throws, incomplete. So looking across the middle of the field, intended target was Anthony Justice, who has a touchdown reception today. And looks like Redwoods is going to send the punt team out on the field and try to see if they can pin the Vikings deep. This is understanding early in the second half. You're still in this game. It's just a 7-point deficit. And Coach White electing to play for field position here on 4th and 6 from the opposing 45. Low snap and running with it on the left side and now kicking it away. Averting what could have been a difficult or a costly play. Instead is going to be downed out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So not a bad result from a ball that skipped back to the punter, Cole Newton.
Yeah, great poise by Cole Newton. Kind of like a quarterback, just stepped up and
yeah, I almost thought he was going to take off for a second.
Got the ball off. That was really good.
So Kalani McLeod and company back on the field for DVC. All spotted at their own 15. 2 receivers to each side. McLeod was replaced for 1 drive by Jaden Macedo, as he's going to give it on the option. Pyle getting pushed forward, gain of 6 on the first down carry. Been a back and forth affair. Largest lead was DVC at 14. Redwoods cut it to 7 just before the half. Quarterback draw and dropped in the backfield. Loss of 1 on the play. Christian Solomona making the tackle for loss. 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Kai Taylor off, Jurian Dickey on. As the tackles switch sides for this play. Dropping back to pass, quick hitters to screen to Dickey. And he breaks tackles at the 20 and off to the races. At the 40, being forced out of bounds near the 45-yard line. There was 3 black jerseys around Dickey. He shook all 3 of them off. Then escaped for what ended up being a 20-yard gain. Dickey just using his size, bigger, faster, stronger, the 6'3", 210-pound sophomore originally from Atherton. Saves the Vikings on 3rd down. So 1st and 10 now from their own 45. Dickey spread out wide left. 2 receivers to each side. Snap from McLeod, gives it to Miller. Miller with blockers. Puts his shoulder down, 1st down, and a couple more. 13 yards on the 1st down rush. Vikings are in Redwoods territory. And quickly back on the football. Tried the hard count, no avail. It looked like the wide receiver, Taylor, on the right side flinched, but no call. Dropping back to pass, it's going to be a screen underneath to Miller. Miller dodging a couple defenders and escaping down the right side. Ferrari Miller turned nothing into 12 yards on the screen pass underneath, and that's been the name of the game for DVC, is throwing the tunnel screens, throwing little bubble screens, trying to get the ball to playmakers with blockers out in front. Back on the football, McLeod. Another screen to Dickey on the other side. He's going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 35, loss of 3 on the play.
Dickey just signed Redwood wraps it up in the backfield. 2-yard loss on the play.
It'll be 2nd down and 13.
Just outside of 34.
No substitutions, no huddle. DVC, they're not pushing the tempo as much as just staying in the no huddle and controlling the pace. They lead at 28-21 with 8.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. McLeod back to pass, looking, and too high on the left side for his intended target, Miles Dixon.
Over the hedge.
Brings up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 13. And I heard whistles, almost like we had a flag come in, but I don't see one down on the ground.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 players in the backfield. The penalties decline. Result of the play, 3rd down.
So Coach White opts to keep the down and the incomplete pass.
Bring up 3rd and 12.
It'll be 3rd down. It'll short 13, long 12. Line to gains of 22. 3 receivers right. McLeod, hard count, no movement. Checks to the sideline, making the call at the line of scrimmage. McLeod back to pass, looking, throws across the middle. And it looked to be caught by Darian Marag. But that'll be short of the line to gain. DVC trying to get on the ball quickly. 4th down and 6. Offense remains on the field in no huddle. 3 receivers right. Redwoods looking for a massive stop here on 4th down. Hard count, snap, looking left, throwing, pass is caught at the 20, fighting forward. Going to be dragged down. That's 1st down yardage and a couple more. Marvis Christian came up and delivered a big hit, and they're going to stop play to allow Christian to be subbed off as he was a little shaken up after that hit. 1st and 10 at the 20. Snap and a handoff. Miller running over the left side, good for 6. Isaiah Tungaloa coming up to make the tackle. 2nd and 4. Big 4th down conversion as DVC goes empty now. 2nd and 4. McLeod back to pass, looking right, coming back left across the middle of the field. Pass is completed. Touchdown, Vikings. Kai Taylor on the reception coming across the middle of the field. The lead is back to 2 scores. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Guzman on to attempt the point after try. Kick is blocked. So that keeps a point off the board, and the lead stays at 13, 34-21 with 6.5 to go. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Redwoods getting the football back next on ESPN 107.3 FM.
Yeah.
6:29 to go, third quarter, 34-21. DVC on top of Redwoods here from the Redwood Bowl, alongside Liam Warner, Mitchell Monge. Zach back in our Eureka studios, handling the board, keeping us on the air on Humboldt's ESPN 107.3 FM and AM 1340 KATA. Also streaming live on the College of the Redwoods football YouTube live stream. Multiple ways to follow Redwoods football here on the North Coast. As Guzman getting ready to set for the kickoff. Dominic Conant and Isaac Johnson deep to receive for Redwoods. And another squib kick. Bounces up and is going to be fielded by Conant at the 20. With a lane, Conant cutting back before a tripped up, a shoestring tackle made by Dom Galwitz. And Galwitz in pain headed off the field after making that tackle. So the offense heads back out, 6:25 to go, trailing by 13. Defense has kept the offense in it. The first 2 games, giving them opportunities. Offense wasn't able to convert those first 2 games, losing by 3 points and 10 points. And now, defense needs a little help from the O. They bring a man in motion, play action. Buckland back to pass, pocket collapsing, escapes out to his right, eyes downfield, throws and intercepted at the 50. Nias Walker, the defensive back, was just sitting on it the entire way. Jumped the crossing route, but we have a flag down in the offensive backfield. We'll see if the interception stands.
Please. Offense number 68. The penalty is applied. Result of the play. First down, Diablo Valley.
So holding against Redwoods, and the turnover will stand. Third interception on the afternoon for Quentin Buckland, and good starting field position for DVC as they're going to take over at the Redwoods 49-yard line. Well, Liam, we talked about Buckland's ability to take care of the football, limit interceptions, and, well, come back to bite them here today. It's McLeod, the DVC offense, just a couple seconds later, back out on the field. 2 receivers left, 2 right. McLeod hands it off from the left side. Running is Martis Ferguson. Took a big hit at the end of the play, but not before he got 8 yards on the carry. Ball spotted at the Redwoods 41. Defense needing a stop to keep Redwoods in this game. 3 turnovers for the CR offense. 2 receivers right, 2 left. McLeod makes a check at the line, drops back to pass, looking left, throwing down the sideline, intended for Taylor, broken up, but a flag comes in.
That was a pretty obvious one.
Well, Marvis Christian's just standing with his hands up the entire way, trying to claim he didn't do anything, but as you said, Liam, hard one to sell.
Made zero attempt to turn around and look for the football. They're usually going to call that.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty in the previous toss. First down.
Interference called against Marvis Christian.
15-yard penalty after the pass interference against Christian. And 5.5 to go, third quarter, growing increasingly dire for Redwoods, who do not want to go down 3 scores with how dynamic this DVC offense has been. Cloud, hard count, checks to the sideline. Ball at the left hash, working right to left as we see it. Redwood showing blitz, they rush 4. Blitz is picked up, McLeod stepping up, and he's going to go down back at the 35-yard line. Isaiah Tangaloa comes up to make the play. He was the blitzer and the 4th rusher. Got home, loss of 8 on the play. Second down and 19. Ball remains left hash, 3 receivers right. 1 down defensive lineman is Kyler Smith with 2 stand-up ends. Pressure coming, throw over the middle is completed. And falling forward, going to be close to the first down marker. Miles Dixon on the reception for DVC, going to bring up 3rd down and short. No, they're going to move the chains. So needed 19, got 19.5 on that reception. And a fresh set of downs. And again, going to switch the tackles. Snap from McLeod, free rusher, throwing a screen out to Dickey on the right side. Dickey trying to make a couple guys miss, dragged down at the 10. Gain of 5 on the wide receiver screen. Game clock winds under 4 minutes now. Second down and 5. So Redwood's defense gave up only 16 points to Sac City in week 1, just 13 to Foothill a week ago. 34 already for DVC this afternoon, and they've got 2nd and 5 from the 10. 3 receivers split out left. Pressure coming and dropped in the backfield. Contact was made right as the exchange went from McLeod to the running back Ferguson, and a loss of 5 back to the original line of scrimmage. Third down and 9, 3 minutes to go, third quarter. To hold DVC to a field goal here would be massive, to say the least. Play clock under 10. Snap to McLeod, looking right, throwing, passes completed as a flag comes down in the offensive backfield, and pitch and catch is going to be enough for the first down, but doubtful to stand.
Holding. Offense number 54. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
So holding is the call against Zahir Young. So 3rd and 9 becomes 3rd and 19. Ball back to the 24-yard line. DVC has converted some long ones already today. McLeod back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle, Was it caught? Yes. Jurian Dickey hauls it in. Touchdown, Vikings.
Well, I can't speak to why he's not on Oregon's roster anymore, but the fact that he was at one point, and I believe he was a 5-star recruit out of high school, means he's pretty good.
Big frame at receiver. It's 6'3", 210. And Guzman on to attempt the extra point, push the lead to 20. Snap is low, and they're aboarding the PAT, rolling out the holder, just going to throw it up for grabs. Intercepted by Freeoff and tackled out of bounds. So back-to-back PATs gone south for DVC, and it remains a 19-point game. DVC on top of Redwoods, 40-19, right here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Forty to 21 our score, 19-point lead here from the Redwood Bowl alongside Liam Warner, Mitchell Monge. Like to thank Game On and North Fork Lumber for sponsoring College of the Redwoods football. Would also like to thank Harper Boaters, your local mow-man, and J&G Lawn and Garden. Sponsors generously help keep CR football on the air. As Guzman will get set to kick off from the 35-yard line, Conat and Johnson deep for CR. Guzman another pooch kick, and it's going to bounce and be handled by Grant at the 30. Escapes up the sideline. Alec Grant into enemy territory down to the 40. And he was going to initially let that ball see if it jumped out of bounds, Liam. Popped up right to him, and he just took the sideline. Looked like 101 North at 1 a.m. Nobody there. All the way down to the 40, and sets Redwoods up with great starting field position.
Yeah, Alec Grant's had a good day, rushing touchdown, and great return there. Definitely been one of the bright spots here today.
Offense back out on the field. And it's Brighton Livingston in at quarterback as a handoff to Grant. It's 3 yards. So Livingston was the starter for the entirety of the last season. Lost the quarterback competition to Buckland in the preseason, and now after a 3-interception afternoon and trailing by 19 with just under 2 to go third quarter, Livingston takes the reins at quarterback. Two receivers left, two right. Grant remains in it, running back to the left of Livingston. Brighton drops back to pass. Throws it to Grant on the left side. Makes the first tackler miss. Plunges forward for a yard.
Number 70 for Redwood is off for one play.
Ezra Bailey, left tackle, lost his helmet on the play. Has to exit for one. Alexis Martinez will replace him. Third down and 6. Line to gains the 30. Winding down to a minute to go, third quarter. Redwoods has made a quarterback change on this drive. Livingston dropping back to pass. 5 rushers coming. Tries to throw the out route. Incomplete. Looking again for justice. Brings up 4th and 6, and I don't think you have much of an option but to go for it here. 4th down and 6. Gotta have it under a minute to go. Livingston drops back to pass. Just 3 rushers, 8 in coverage. Rolling out to his left and throws it downfield looking for Reyes. Caught for a touchdown. Unbelievable. So Reyes went up and snagged it. Livingston was close to the line of scrimmage. Every part of his body has to be in front of the line for it to be an illegal forward pass. And to me, I'm sitting right down the 36. Even with that 4th down marker, his foot was behind the line, Liam.
We'll see what the officials think. What an unbelievable catch, though. Hopefully it stands.
And we got a Phelan Chumley sitting to my left. Unbelievable, did a backflip. That's exactly how you describe it. Launching backwards, Saul Reyes just hauled it in and kept possession of it going to the ground. But I don't think it's going to count as defense heads off the field. Both teams headed to their respective sidelines.
Illegal forward pass. Offense send the forward beyond the line of scrimmage when he passed the ball. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Results in a loss of down. By rule, it'll be first, because it was 4th down, it'll be 1st down in Diablo Valley.
So instead, it's going to be a turnover on downs. To me, it looked as if his foot was behind. It was really close, Liam, and you're probably not going to get that call when you're so far, when your body's so far out in front of it. But I did think the heel back part of his plant foot remained behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep, of course, there's no replay at this level, so ruling stands.
DVC takes over at their own 39 with a 40-21 lead. First down handoff to Miller, running over the left side, and a gain of 2 where the tackle is made.
Number 10, Diablo Valley is out for 1 play.
Well, it's the running back, Ferrari Miller, lost his helmet apparently. Has to come off for a play. Clock stops with 34 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 8. Snap and the throw. Macedo over to the right side and fighting forward before taking a big hit at the end. That'll prevent a 1st down, but leave 3rd and 1 for DVC. 2nd time we've seen Jaden Macedo in this game. Macedo, California High School, San Ramon product. Handoff running to the left side, spinning before going down is Martis Ferguson. He's going to have a fresh set of downs as he's down to the 46-yard line as we have reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Diablo Valley 40, College of the Redwoods 21 here on ESPN 107.3 FM. Just about to start the final 15 minutes of action, 4th quarter here from the Redwood Bowl, and it's been all Diablo Valley so far. 40-21 over Redwoods, and what would have been a massive touchdown on 4th down from Brighton Livingston to Saul Reyes is all for naught as Brighton was ruled to be ahead of the line of scrimmage, and it was close. Majority of his body was definitely in front of it. I thought his foot was behind, but irrespective, it's DVC going the other way, and the handoff on 1st down goes for 11 as Ferguson moves the chains down to the Redwoods 34-yard line. Redwoods defense has been really the story to the point this season. They've been what's kept them in the games, and Unfortunately here have met their match in a high-powered Viking offense. Macedo sends a man across the line of scrimmage and rolls out. Pass is completed. Calcagno, the reception. Close to first down yardage. They're going to say he was just short, second down.
Just short of the first down.
Shout out to the chain gang, by the way. College of the Redwoods baseball. Man in the sticks on the far side of the field, including the one and only Finn Warner.
That's right. He's holding the down box there on the far side.
Vikings shift the formation. 3 receivers left. Macedo in the gun. Macedo drops back to pass, looking left, going for the end zone. Caught. Touchdown Vikings. And again, it's Jake Calcagno. He was one-on-one on a fade route out of the slot. Macedo just put it up for him and let his receiver do the rest. As Calcagno comes down with it to extend the lead. And Liam, I can't remember a team has put 40 plus on this CR defense.
This TVC team is really, really good. They got some talent.
And they played two of the top teams their first 2 games, as the PAT line drive is up and good. 47-21 your score, as Redwood's going to try to put some window dressing on the box score as they get the football back next on ESPN 107.3 FM. So Connaught and Johnson will be deep to receive, as we can expect to see another pooch or squib kick on the kickoff. 47-21 the score. Diablo Valley College has come up to Arcata, and then we talked about it a little bit pregame. They drove up this morning, and the question was, the same as a week ago for Coach White. He, took the kids down the night before, and they had time to spend during the day before ahead of a 6 p.m. kickoff, but wanted to get down there, did not want to drive down on the same day. The old can you get off the bus mentality. Diablo Valley definitely got off the bus today, as that kick is deep and handled by Johnson at his own 1, and he's going to return. Picks up a block from Connaught and squeezes through across the 25, down close to the 30. Bright Livingston and the Redwoods offense headed back out onto the field, and you have to wonder, Liam, after a limited offensive production in the first 2 games and a 3 interception day today, where does Quentin Buckland stand this week? Is it an open quarterback competition? Do you give him the nod another time? It's an honest question that you have to ask at this point. No knock against Buckland, a talented player, but the results just haven't been there for him yet so far this season. And he inherited an extra challenge moving up to the national division. You're going to face much tougher defenses than a year ago. The speed of the game is different. In the meantime, it's Brighton Livingston, drops back to pass, throws down the right side, intercepted, flag comes in.
Livingston's pass is picked off, but there's a flag on the play near the intended.
Oh, it's Journey McCoy, De La Salle product, with the interception, but a flag came in ahead of it in that same area of where the pass was caught. So imagining this one's going to go against DVC. Sort of holding or pass interference call.
Holding. Defense, number 1. 10-yard penalty and an automatic.
So Nias Walker was the defensive back in coverage, the corner, I should say. And Grab the receiver. CR gets 15, or excuse me, spot foul. Moves the ball out to the 40. So take the interception off the board for Livingston. Empty formation, 3 left, 2 right. DVC rushes 4. Livingston rolls out to the right. Nobody in front of him. He's going to take the free yards and go out of bounds. Gain of 6 or 7, depending on the spot. Felt the pressure coming from the left side. Smartly rolled out to the right. Kept his eyes downfield. Nothing there. Take what you can get on the ground. Bring up 2nd down and 4. CR breaks the huddle. They do have to like what the offense did today, although only getting 21 points on the board and having 3 interceptions. The fact that this was a step up just tells you where this offense has been. Pressure coming. Brighton gets rid of it. Passes caught across the 50. And Justice looking for room. He's going to be brought down at the 45. Tried to make like a jump cut and went backwards, laterally, fell forward, right back to the spot where he caught the ball.
I'm sure that's the really frustrating thing for Coach White is he wanted more out of this offense. He got more out of this offense, but 3 interceptions and the turnovers, it's not going to do it.
Livingston drops back to pass. Pressure coming. Escapes out to the left. He can move across the 40, 35, and out of bounds. That'll be close to the sticks. About 10 yards on the scramble. Chains will move. So that was one of the things I talked to Coach Helms about pregame was Buckland does an excellent job when he feels the pressure, escapes the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. But Brighton, you see the decisiveness with him. When he rolls out, he's got his eyes downfield, but he doesn't slow down to wait for anything to develop. He just takes the yards in front of him. And for Q, it's just a bit of learning as it's his first year, full year as a quarterback in this offense. And just trying to get his feet underneath him as Brighton drops back to pass. Linebacker comes up, makes the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to start spying Livingston, not letting him escape. Jamil Shelby, the linebacker, on the tackle. No gain on the play. And I think a piece that maybe not unnoticed, but not as mentioned by us, Liam, is, without Cody Hayes, you're missing your top tight end.
Yeah, and that's a huge piece right there.
And we talked about the red zone. There's a huge red zone target as well. Livingston drops back to pass. Clean pocket. All day to throw. Throws over the middle high. Dangerous throw. Looking for Dodd. Deron Dodd. Rondo, as his teammates call him. Tried to elevate to make the reception, but the ball went over his head, and you're just lucky safety wasn't behind.
I think the difference between the last 2 games and this game, though, is that the last 2 games, the Redwoods' mistakes were the difference in the games. They could have won those last 2 games if it weren't for their own mistakes. This game, Redwoods made fair share of their own mistakes, but I think DVC was just flat out the better team today.
We still got a ways to go. 11 minutes to go, 4th quarter. As Livingston stepping up, throwing. Route across the middle, caught by Reyes. Sticks a man at the 15, fighting for more, and reinforcements in for the Vikings to make the tackle. But a good catch and run by Reyes, who's had a very impressive day. He's got a touchdown and then had a second one taken off the board after an illegal forward pass. Or excuse me, not a touchdown, just short on that post route, dropped down. A couple of plays he's had near touchdowns, then the one was wiped off the board.
You are right, Mitchell. There's a long way to go, and even if Redwoods do come up short, there are things that they can build on offensively going into next week at Sequoias.
3 receivers right, Johnson the lone man left. Livingston dropping back, pressure in his face, throws all the way back left. Went through his reads on the right, came all the way across back to Johnson on the left side, who caught the pass but came down out of bounds. 2nd down and 10. Well, you look at the 2 teams, Fresno City and American River, that DVC has faced, both 2 talented teams. They have Redwoods this week, Sac City next week, and then Shasta before going on the road to San Mateo, and that's going to be probably their toughest test is CSM. Empty set for Livingston, drops back, looks left, comes back across the middle, diving, touchdown, reception made by Justice. 2 to 15 for 6.
For the touchdown, Redwood.
Cuts the lead to 20. But again, Liam, as you said, offense putting a couple pieces together. It's been their highest offensive output in terms of points. With Saylor on to attempt the PAT. High snap, hauled in, kick is up, and good. 47-28 the score, 10.5 to go. DVC getting the football back next year on ESPN 107.3 FM. Forty-seven 28 the score. 10.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Redwoods trailing Diablo Valley College, but backup quarterback Brian Livingston connects with Anthony Justice for 6. That's the lead down to 19 again. The Sailor gets set to kick it away. End over end kick from Sailor is going to be handled at the 10. McCoy looking for a lane, trying to cut back, trips up, and goes down at the 31 or 32. Tackle made by Bryce Fukage. Excuse me, Peyton Smith, wide receiver from St. Bernard's, Eureka, California, local product. Getting the tackle on special teams. Redwoods defensively is going to show 4 down front for, I believe, maybe the first time we've seen that here today. Snap and handoff over the right side. Isaiah Tungaloa coming up to first one there, as Ferguson dropped after a 2-yard gain. Second down and 8. 10 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Macedo remains in as the quarterback. Play action. Rolling out to his left. Pass is completed to Ifadil. Gain of 4. Brings up third down and about 4 yards. See if the CR defense can get a stop and give the offense a chance to get back out there and potentially get some momentum going into the game next week. Vikings break the huddle. 3 receivers right. 4 down linemen defensively for Redwoods. Cito drops back to pass, steps in, throw is complete for a first down. Tackle made out at the 47-yard line. Chains move. Clock continues to wind under 9 minutes. Defense adjusting as UBC back on the ball. Cito takes the snap, bubble screen out to the left. It's Miles Dixon, good for 3 or 4 yards on the bubble screen. Second down and 6. Pistol for Macedo. Snap, and he's going to keep it on the read option. Caught the defensive end inside. Gets 10 on the scramble and enough to move the chains.
Fakes the handoff. Keeps it himself. Able to pick up about 8 on the play and good enough for a Viking first down.
Goes Henry Westfall was the edge there, who went to take away the dive back and left the edge wide open for Macedo, and he's got a little bit of speed to him. The quarterback position, the San Ramon kid. Takes the snap, handoff right side. Churning forward is Elijah Bowe. First carry for him. Gain of 3 on the ground.
Handoff this time to Elijah Bowe. For, let's call it 3 yards. This is 2nd and 7.
So you go on the road to Sequoias as Macedo throws a little screen underneath to Gooden. Gooden breaks it on the right side. Flag flies. Gooden, stiff arm, into the end zone for 6. But 2 flags all the way back at the 28-yard line. I think this touchdown's coming off the board. So I'm looking ahead for Redwoods. You go at Sequoias. Long road trip down to Visalia. That'll be probably the most challenging in terms of logistics and travel the rest of the way, as it is indeed a holding call against DVC. They're home for Monterey Peninsula. Always a tough challenge. Then you have at Sierra, at Shasta. So that'll be Rockland, Sacramento area, and then over in Redding. Home Santa Rosa, at Butte in American River. One of the top teams to cap the season off at home. So schedule doesn't get any easier for Redwoods. They're going to have to elevate their level of play on both sides of the ball. 47-28 the score. It's a toss on the left side to Ferguson looking to turn the corner. He cuts it back all the way across the field. Stiff arm, first down, and tackled out of bounds near the 20. So 2nd and 11, Ferguson was a toss left, ended up going out of bounds on the right sideline, cut it all the way back across the field.
15. Good enough for a first down before he's pushed out of bounds.
First and 10 at the CR 21.
Vikings first down from just outside the Redwood 20.
Snap, Macedo, screen underneath. Caught by Ilfadil with blockers. Coasts in for 6. That's 50 on this Redwoods defense. 53 to be exact.
Well, the screen pass, like you said, has killed them the entire game.
The athletes on this DVC roster just superior to Redwoods in terms of from a speed perspective for sure. Guzman on to attempt the point after try. It is up and good. So 54-28 is we've got some whistles, and hold on a second as we got a flag on the PAT. Waiting for the call on the point after try. It's going to be offsides against Redwood, which will be declined. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back in a few on ESPN 107.3 FM. 54-28 the score, 6:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Just taking a look at some of these teams. In the 3C 2A. Redwoods 0-2, going to drop to 0-3. American River, the team that they wrap it up with, has got a talented roster, but they're sitting at 0-2 as well. As that kickoff is handled by Conant at the 5 with a lane, Johnson. Across the 30 out to the 34.
Isaac Johnson on the return. Solid return, brings it all the way out to
So Sequoias is 1-1. Redwood's opponent next week, Monterey Peninsula 2-0. The results of those games today have not come in yet. Sacramento City 2-1. Team defeated Redwoods by 3. Or just handed their first loss as Brighton Livingston and the offense back out. Sequoias beat American River 21-13, lost 24-21 versus San Francisco a week ago, and kick off at 6 against San Jose as Livingston back to pass is going to step up and get dropped after a 2-yard run, sandwiched between two defenders. As very quickly defensive adjustments were made after Livingston got a couple of scrambles near 10 yards. Leaving that middle linebacker, Jamil Shelby, in a spy on Livingston and trying to keep him at bay with his legs. Livingston stepping up again in the pocket, trying to cut back before he's dropped. It's about a yard short of the line to gain. Third down and a long one upcoming. That time they used linebacker Marley Alapati as the spy. To give to Olenberger. 3 or 4 yards, first down.
And off to Olenberger, pushing the line forward, picks up a good 5 yards on the play, good enough for a Redwoods first down.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time Tamara Wheeler coached defense has allowed 54 points. I think the closest would have had to been Dianza maybe last season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And that was in the 40s.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the athletes on DVC are just superior.
Wow. Livingston drops back to pass. Eyes downfield, looking, throws short. Pass is completed to Justice, and a flag came in where he took a hit. As Justice fought forward. And another flag comes in from the far sideline after the play was over. You got 3 flags out there. Yeah, 2 on the far sideline, 1 in the defensive backfield where hit was delivered on the quarterback Livingston. Referees confer at midfield. Game clock at 4:12, fourth quarter, 54-28 the score. Diablo Valley College has come into the Redwood Bowl and taken it to Redwoods. Chopped him down, so to speak.
Well, there are always going to be growing pains with the move up to the National Division, and you're seeing it right here. These are good teams. Not the same teams that we were facing last couple of seasons.
Referees still conferring near midfield.
I believe at least one of these flags is probably going to be a dead ball foul of some sort.
We have multiple fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the cornerback. Defense number 91. Illegal block in the back. Offense. Those penalties offset. At the end of the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense bench. That penalty struck 15 yards from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
There was 3 penalties on the play.
3 different fouls on
Some
play.
offsetting live ball penalties, and then a dead ball unsportsmanlike goes against DVC. Free 15 yards and a first down for Redwoods.
Finn's standing on that opposite sideline. I'm going to need to get a report from him on what that last flag was all about.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. It must have been a little jawing between
Well, talking.
two players. Ball at the DVC 38. Livingston takes the snap, throws, passes. Ooh, thought he had it for a second, but Meadows unable to complete the catches and goes to the ground and falls incomplete.
Falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
I will say, Liam, I do like what Brighton Livingston has done coming on for Quentin Buckland.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are some questions that need to be answered going into next week's game at Sequoias.
Just a little bit different style as he's got an empty backfield, drops back to pass. Livingston looking, and just has to throw it out of play. Just rolled outside of the pocket. That was going to be close.
The coaching staff is going to have to decide if they want to roll Quentin Buckland back out there, because it would really help him to go back out there and get more experience under his belt. But Brighton really came in here and did a really good job. So,
well, and the question is on the Sequoia side of things or Siskiyous, excuse me. I keep saying Sequoias.
that's Sequoias
It
next
is
week.
Sequoias.
Yeah.
All right. The two S's. Get them confused easily. For Sequoias next week, it's going to be, do you have to prepare for two quarterbacks? So there's a little bit of a question on that side. Is Livingston pocket collapsing, escaping out to his left. Eyes keeps him downfield. Throw is caught at the 20. Buying some time, found Alex Meadows for a 19-yard gain.
I was talking to Coach Harrelson before the game, and he was indicating to me that Sequoias is going to be another tough game. They're a good team, and the 8-hour drive down to Visalia is not going to make that any easier.
I thought that was the highlight of the year. I thought you had that date circled,
I
starred,
can't wait.
Smiley faced on your
I
calendar.
can't wait, Mitchell. Just conveniently, you're going to be missing that one.
Dropping back to pass, pressure coming, and Livingston just tries to fall forward to limit the loss on the sack. It'll be a loss of 5 yards. Yes, my cousin's getting married next week, so I will be at a wedding in Petaluma. And you'll have a one-man band.
I'm going to be piloting this thing solo. It will not be the same without you, Mitchell, but I will do my best.
That's all we can ask for.
Bring up 2nd and 15 from the
2nd down and 15 after the sack. Clock continues to wind. Brighton looking deep on the left side. Too strong for Meadows on a go route. A little bit of jersey grabbing there at the end, but no flag comes out. 3rd down and 15.
Gonna bring up 3rd down.
.235 to go, 4th quarter, 54-28. Diablo Valley College on top of Redwoods here. What has been a beautiful afternoon if you look at the surroundings and not the scoreboard.
Yeah, I got to the field earlier, and it was very cloudy, and then things got very nice before kickoff.
Screen underneath to Ohlenberger. Cuts it up, takes a hit, gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 20, where it will be 4th down and 10.
Picks up about.
Let's see this clock can wind down to the 2-minute warning. That's what Coach White and CR will do. So the clock will reach 2 minutes. We will have a timeout. Back in 30 seconds here on ESPN 107.3 FM. 2 minutes to go before we can put a bow on this one.
Give a special recognition to our 50th anniversary 1975-76 state championship squad.
Livingston in the offense face 4th down and 11. Empty set. Brighton drops back to pass. Looking, steps up. He's got to throw it. Completed to Reyes just across the 10. And I think he might have enough for a first down, Liam. It's going to be close.
Picked up about 10 on the play. It's going to be close. Ball's marked right on the 10-yard line.
The rule they don't field is if the ball does not reach the line to gain. First down, Diablo Valley.
Never mind. So turnover on downs, and it'll probably be a couple of kneel downs.
Ball will be turned over on down with 1:51 remaining in the game.
So DVC will trot the offense back out. Shotgun formation is just going to take a couple of running plays. So hand it off to Bo. No gain on the tackle.
And Person is made by a
Clock will continue to wind. So again,
short gain on the play.
get ahead for, let's see, Sequoias is going to kick off at 6. That'll be interesting to see how that game goes with San Jose. For Redwoods, we mentioned next week is going to be at Visalia, at Sequoias, home Monterey Peninsula, and then at Sierra the next 3 games. There's a bye in between MPC and the Sierra game, as throwing now on a dump off screen left side tackle is made. Clock keeps working, and that little screen pass almost hit the turf. They would have stopped the clock.
Bring up third down.
3rd down and 8. Just need to let the game clock run under 40 seconds before you snap, and that'll be the final play of the game. Dropping back, looking to throw across the middle. Passes completed, first down yardage and more, out to the 35. And that should just about wrap things up, Liam. I mean, impressive showing by DVC. They're going to get back on the ball. What are we doing? We're up 54-28. Can run it out. They're going to do a quarterback keeper on the left side. They're trying to get more plays in. I mean, come on, you're up 54-28.
Yeah,
that
I
should
agree.
do it.
It's really not much of a point.
Well, Liam, as we look ahead, I mean, couple of things to take away the most points that you've given up all year, most points that you've scored all year. So we're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and one more thing before we head into break.
Thank both teams for a hard-fought battle today.
This is Phelan Chumley, and you're listening to Redwoods Football on ESPN 107.3.
Final from the Redwood Bowl, Diablo Valley College 54, College of the Redwoods 28. And Liam, I don't think need to spend much time breaking this one down. I mean, the story of the game was the athletes. Um, the sometimes you hear the phrase it's the Jimmies and the Joes, it's not the X's and the O's. So when you've got the Jimmies and the Joes such as DVC does, I mean, you play a clean game and you escape all right. They had 2 early fumbles. Redwoods was able to capitalize. They punched it in the end zone first. I think that's good to get the score. But ultimately, just the speed on the outside and the screens and downfield blocking was superb by the Vikings. It just proved to be too much for the Redwoods defense.
Yeah, like I said, all 3 games so far this season have been frustrating, but I think today was a different kind of frustrating than the last 2 games.
Yeah.
The last 2 games, I think it was Redwood's mistake shooting themselves in the foot. That was the difference in the game.
Right.
This game, DVC was just quite simply the better team. Redwoods, of course, did make their own mistakes, 3 picks from Quentin Buckland, but that wasn't the difference. DVC just has better athletes on their side of the ball, and they played really well. And it's a good showing to this Redwoods team of the caliber of play that they need to expect in this national division.
And you look at the 2 teams they played, and DVC's played some close games. I mean, this has been their first win by this kind of margin. So for Redwoods, I mean, your takeaways offensively now, I almost think after this game, we had talked about, okay, you've got to make development from week 1. You're right there in it. Okay, you go to week 2, you play Foothill, tough. The defense is looking elite. And then they turn around and they give a 54 points here today. Your starting quarterback throws 3 interceptions, and your backup comes in and doesn't look half bad. I mean, I think you almost have more questions than answers coming out of this game.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough thing for this coaching staff. I mean, they're going to need to take the week, get back at it on Monday, and they're going to have to figure out who the starter is going to be next Saturday in Visalia, because Quentin Buckland, he has a lot of promise. Obviously, he has a great arm. He's a great athlete. And there were moments where he looked really good. I mean, he was slinging the ball down the field. He was making the right reads. But of course, then you have the 3 picks. That obviously is not good. Brighton Livingston came in here and did a really good job kind of calming things down, even though Redwoods wasn't really in it at that point. So the Jason White and the coaching staff, they're going to have to make a decision. Do you bring back Quentin Buckland and give him some more play? Because what he really needs at this level is experience.
Absolutely.
Or do you bring Brighton Livingston in, who had a really good showing today? He knows the offense. He was the starter last year. So it's going to be a really intriguing decision that the coaching staff is going to have to make before Saturday.
And that's why they are the coaches standing on the sideline and running the practices, and we get to talk
right.
about it up in the
That's
so,
right.
That's big question. I mean, obviously going to be the quarterback, but you also got to look at the defense. I mean, 54 points. It's just flat out not acceptable by the standards that Redwoods has set for themselves. So
yeah, and Demero Wheeler. I mean,
he's going to be very frustrated.
We've been around Demero Wheeler, when Redwoods has won and done very well, and he's not happy. So he's obviously going to be very unhappy after this game, and the defense is going to have to put in a lot of work during the week to shore up a lot of stuff and at least try to do better against Sequoias, which is going to be another good team. A very long drive. In the Southern Central Valley. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Well, 1 week at a time. It's got to be the motto. I mean, you can't 0-3 now officially, but it's got to be a one game, 1 week at a time mentality. That's the only way that you're going to get through this. I mean, the old adage, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? They've got a big task in front of them. It's going to be a huge challenge. Coming in, Coach White and his staff knew that this was going to be a challenge. So now it's going to be, can you make the appropriate adjustments? Can you make the in-game adjustments that are necessary? And can you find some momentum for 60 minutes? I mean, they got bits and pieces of it throughout the first half and then really started to fall flat. So again, I think my takeaway is honestly, I have, a few more questions than answers about this Redwoods team, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they respond with their longest road trip coming up in 1 week. You turn around, you got Monterey Peninsula coming here the following. So very difficult schedule before you can even look at getting to that first bye. Final score from the Redwood Bowl is Diablo Valley College 54, College of the Redwoods 28 for Zach Norton back in our Eureka studios. My broadcast partner, as always, a big thank you to Liam Warner. Delbert, almost called you Delbert. Phelan Chumley, hanging out with us in the booth all afternoon long. My name is Mitchell Monge, signing off from the Redwood Bowl. Final score 54-28. Redwoods fall short one more time.